Pittsburgh, I thought they'd come in here. We allowed them, and they did control the game. As far as really, they look like they're going to score an awful lot of points, but they really basically controlled the tempo of the game. We caught up with them and started to play our defense ourselves. I felt good at halftime that we were going to come back, and we just have a problem with 40 and 35, 44 minutes and 35-second shot clocks, and thus we could beat on the backboards miserably in the second half, and we don't really have an excuse for it. And we're going to have a tough time beating, be it Georgetown, be it Notre Dame, which we did, tough time, and Seton Hall, which we had a tough time winning. And I'm not used to coming down to games where the other team grabs control of the game, as both Georgetown and Pittsburgh did the last two games. And very disappointed. I thought they were tough, they were physical. They weren't overly big, but they did create mismatches for us, obviously, by spacing the floor. And then if you allow them to play their game and get second chances, and don't make any foul shots, 6 for 13, it makes life very difficult. So congratulations to them, and we got a lot of work to do. The only thing I would say simply is some of the games against Harvard and some of those teams, and they're very good teams, nothing against those teams, were early indications that we don't play 35-40. In the past, those games are 15, 18, 20 on a good Harvard team, certainly, but they weren't. And they were 6 points with 2 minutes to go, and they had the ball, and they make it 3, and all of a sudden we got a problem. So this has been a season-long problem, and I still maintain that we have some pretty good players. We're breaking some young kids in, but so aren't they. And, more importantly, they said play with a sense of purpose and hungriness, and I don't think we play with anywhere near the sense of purpose, particularly offensively. I still think that we don't execute offensively. We use some of the talent that we have. For Stanley Robinson to get 2 rebounds in the game is almost bewildering to me. And the way he was playing, he wasn't going to get more than 2 rebounds. And I'm not blaming Stanley. Trust me. It goes to our big three have to be good every night, and they weren't great tonight. Whether it be turnovers, whether it be loose balls, where one of our freshmen twice couldn't get on and get to the floor to get a loose ball. That's what wins those close games, and that's why we've had a pretty good history of winning those close games. So, bottom line is Pittsburgh took the win, did the right things, made the right plays to win the basketball game.
Was their turnaround and rebounding in the second half just that hunger you talked about just now?
They wanted to win. They didn't talk about winning; they showed they wanted to win. Talking about it is one thing, doing it is another, and I thought that they just put forward a great effort. I asked the guys where was Blair and some of those guys because I didn't see them, and yet they had the same kind of success. We all rebounded once, they out-rebounded us once last year, but point being simply was their quickness really bothered us to the boards, and we did not adjust, and we 35-40. We're not playing 35 seconds, and when you block a shot, you got to go get the rebound.
Can you talk about playing in the half-court offense and what this team needs to do to kind of get some oil into it and be more fluid? Get some more oil into it. Just be more fluid. Were you unsatisfied with the point total that was put up tonight and what you guys need to do in the half-court sets?
Pittsburgh probably had something to do with it. Secondly, they control the ball. If we hadn't got the big start against Georgetown, the score would have been similar. There's certain teams that you aren't going to speed up. If you press them when they're playing 4 guards, it's not a good idea. If you'd like it more fluid, tell Pittsburgh not to play such good defense. I mean that very honestly. But you weren't paying attention before, and once again, you're not in the class, so you don't have to. But I said before, the problem goes back to Harvard and some of those other teams where we didn't execute our offense and make other teams play defense and use some of the skills that we do have. And we have not done that, quite frankly, except for maybe 1 or 2 games all season. Do we have some heart? We have big heart. I can give you all the examples. I can give you Kentucky, a game that was Wall makes a layup, under a minute to go. But we should have gave help, just like tonight when Stanley's man beat her and no one gave him help and came up down the middle and put them ahead. I can give you all those kind of examples, but more importantly, we don't control the game ever recently with our offense. We'll have good defensive stops, and if you fight us back, really fight us back, you got a chance maybe to be successful. Pittsburgh is the epitome, in my opinion, of that. They're the epitome of that, and Jamie's done a masterful job, obviously. He lost a lot of good players, and we lost 4 good players. He lost 3 very good players, and his kids are responding better than our kids are.
Coach, you get back in the game on a 10-0 run, 10 minutes left. You talk about Stanley at 19 points early. He takes the bad 3 at the end. It seemed like he was uninvolved when you guys took the lead. It seemed it just came down to like one-on-one with Dyson and Kemba, and nobody else.
Well,
seemed
it's your
to be
opinion.
involved.
I say it's poor offense that led at the end to one-on-one with Dyson and stuff. That's your opinion, and I certainly respect it, but more importantly, I think it came down to that. Unfortunately, with Stanley, we've seen some of that. He got 2 rebounds. He's had 16. He could get 20 in the game. So if you can, spend some time with me afterwards, tell me what Stanley's going to do coming down the stretch of any particular point in game and time. He's a great kid. I've said that a million times over. But he's got to be a great player. And right now, he's a great talent who knows how to play basketball and knows how to score the ball. But he's got to do more than that. His man scored 19. I don't know if you noticed the one-on-one that we were doing all the time, but that was a little bit of a factor in the game. However, if he just holds his man down to 12, maybe we win the game. So, yeah, I'm saying there's a total package. Stan Robinson, who's probably total package, soup to nuts, might be the most gifted kid on the court. And you're right. He didn't look like the most gifted kid in the last 10 minutes. And that's a great time to be the most gifted guy, by the way, in the last 10 minutes of a basketball game. So I'm not disputing what you're saying. I'm saying it gets back to the original thing I was saying going back all season long. We're not really running good offense, which leads us to, if you had Jerome Dyson, just like if you had Brown, you'd send them to the rim too, because they're pretty effective doing that. But that's late in the shot clock when we haven't got anything out of our offense, particularly when we have a post-up advantage, which we didn't. We allowed ourselves to be pushed and shoved in the post and didn't score. We didn't look strong. I thought Atier had a couple of real good moves, but beyond that, there was some very soft moves. Alex, who didn't get a rebound in the second half in 13 minutes, he also had 5 rebounds the first half and didn't score a basket. 5 offensive rebounds. It's hard to do. I'm going right through our team. It's not Alex's fault. It's not Stanley's fault. It's not Kim's fault. It's not Stanley's fault. It's our fault. And we're not playing with the sense of toughness, and we're not particularly playing 35 seconds full all out. At times, we stopped them cold, stone dead. Better than probably most teams stopped them. And then it seemed like they'd get a second chance. Or they get a loose ball, or we turn it over, or we miss a foul shot. And then we do next year offense down the stretch, no question about that.
Coach, seeing where you are halfway through the schedule now, and talking about the toughness and all that, the things you're not getting, do you start to reassess how you're getting through the play?
How I'm personally getting through them?
Right.
Not very well. Apparently not very well, since we've averaged 25 wins a year for 24 years. I guess I'm not getting through them very well. That's the only answer I could probably give you. I don't know what else to say. I think that's a nice setup question, so I'll give you the setup answer. We're 11-5, and we played the best schedule in the country, and we've lost 4 close games, and I'm not doing the job. That's the best way to put it, I guess. I'm not being sarcastic to you. I can really be sarcastic. I'm just being honest. You asked me a question, am I getting through to my players? And I guess the only thing you're inferring is that I'm not getting through my players.
No, I'm saying trying a different method to get through beyond what you've done here halfway through the season.
I think some people here have written about me yelling and screaming in the early stages of the season. I don't think I did much yelling and screaming tonight. So neither one of those methods are working. So maybe I'll either invite someone else in to coach or call somebody up on the phone who knows how to coach. I'm just being very honest with you. I just don't know how to answer the question when you're saying you think you get through your team. Is the team performing the way I want? Obviously not. Is the team fighting for the wins the way I want them to? Obviously not. It's not the first team I've ever had, though, that has fight its way. We still have 15 games, 16 coming to the Big East tournament to play. And I haven't, by any stretch of imagination, given up on the Michigan game, St. John's game, Texas game, or any of those type of games. So I don't think I'm going to be looking in the mirror tonight. I am going to be looking in the mirror very simply like I do every game when I go home to see what things we can get better at. And what I've laid out here today, hopefully, is a lot of the things I think we need to get better at. And if we don't get better, then another 6, 8, 10 games we can talk about, is this team listening where they should listen.
Jim, you talked about the toughness of your